So my name's Sathnam Sanghera. I'm a journalist with The Times, and I've written a memoir called The Boy with the Topknot, and Marriage Material is my first novel. Well, my book, Marriage Material, is a modern Indian adaptation of an old Victorian classic called The Old Wives' Tale by Arnold Bennett, and that story is about two sisters growing up in a shop in Stoke in the original, but my version is about two Sikh daughters growing up in a Wolverhampton Indian corner shop, and the story goes from 1968 to 2011 in the English riots. Well, the original book is a book set in Stoke, which is the Midlands, which is not too far away, and it's a great provincial novel. And I think I realised with my first book that I'm ultimately a provincial writer, so I was drawn back to this book, which isn't really widely read anymore. But I think there's a lot of similarities between Victorian values and modern Indian values. I mean, there's the obsession with marriage is ultimately an obsession with arranged marriages. And then there's the whole idea of the shop as an idea representing Britain. And I think, I can't remember who said it, that England is a nation of corner shops, or shopkeepers. And that shop now is very much an Indian shop. So that kind of made sense. And when I read the Arnold Bennett book, it was like reading a Punjabi family story, really, down to the name, because the family are called the Baines family, and that's a very common Sikh surname. So it's quite eerie, really. To be honest, I think I've always felt that fiction is too hard to do, really. I mean, I studied literature at university, and I think when you do that, you tend to put novelists on a bit of a pedestal, and it felt like something I couldn't really do. And I think even with this book, I've done everything possible to not make it something I've made up, in that it's based on another novel, and also it's quite historical. There's a lot of politics, race politics from the 60s, and also politics from around the English riots of 2011. So it's as journalistic as you can get a novel, I think. So I think it probably reflects my anxiety about fiction, and I think I actually feel uncomfortable making things up. So I think that's why I've gone for this kind of hybrid solution. You feel really burnt out when you've written a novel, when you've spent 2 years just thinking about 3 or 4 characters and just thinking about one idea. And it can sometimes be an anticlimax if you hand it in and there's a long gap before it comes out. But with something like this, I've basically, more or less just finished the book, or you've already more or less got an award, so that's very, very satisfying.